I'm sure you've seen this trend all over TikTok of influencers de-influencing popular or overly sponsored products. Well, today we're taking this same concept and applying it to Pilates. Because I don't know about you, but I feel like Pilates has been trending for like over a year, and I think it's time for us to spill a little bit of tea. I asked you guys on Instagram what you would want me to de-influence when it comes to Pilates, and we got a whole lot of responses, so let's get into it. Is Bala really worth the price tag? So I have a couple of Bala products. I have the 1 pound ankle weights, I have the resistance bands, and I have the mat. Here are the things that I think are actually worth your money from Bala. 100%, I think that the mat is worth the money. I believe it's like $120, but it's very thick. So if you're somebody that needs extra cushion in your mat, I think this is a really nice one. One of the downfalls of this mat is that it's a little bit shorter because it has the curved edge at one side, but I love the extra cushion and support that you get with this mat. I have my mat on top of a rug, on top of like gym tiles, on top of hardwood. So for me, I get a lot of cushion with it, but if you're on something like even hardwood or tile, I think this mat would give you a lot of support. Now that being said, if you can't afford the Bala play mat, that's okay. It's an investment piece for sure. There are definitely a lot of good alternatives when it comes to a Pilates mat, and you wanna look for something that's gonna give you some extra cushioning, but you can find a lot of good alternatives. I will link some in my Amazon storefront down in the description. Now, I think the wrist weights are something that was like really overly hyped at the start of COVID. I think that's actually when Bala started as a business. I feel like the wrist weights were something that we saw a lot of people taking on their quarantine walk, like wearing wrist weights on their way to a Pilates class or wearing wrist weights in addition to like lifting weights and whatever. And while I think these wrist weights are super cute and like they fit the Pilates princess aesthetic, I don't necessarily think that they're worth your money. I think you can find alternatives that are gonna be a better use of your money. And quite honestly, I never use these as wrist weights. I just roll them up and use them as hand weights when I use them to teach in class. And because of that, I would say don't splurge on the Bala bangles. Just get a cheaper set of 1 or 2 pound weights off of Amazon. And again, I will link an option down on my Amazon storefront in the description. Now, when it comes to the Bala bands, I think that they are super cute, and I love that they have a pink band to match my Bala bangles and a tan band to match my mat and a black band, but honestly, I don't think that these are worth your money. I don't really think they're that good of a resistance band. I think you're much better off using one of the rubber bands because A, they're cheaper, but also the rubber bands give you a lot more feedback and can actually give you a lot more resistance. The fabric bands, while they don't roll, they really aren't doing a whole lot for you unless you're like lifting heavy weights. I know some people like these for lifting heavier weights, like in squats and deadlifts, but in a Pilates context, I would just get a rubber band unless it really bothers you that the rubber band rolls. I know you guys have seen me use these in a lot of my Pilates workouts on YouTube, especially when we were doing the Reformer on the Mat series, but honestly, I would either just get a rubber band or don't get a band at all. These Bala bands all almost feel the same. Like the black one is the heaviest and it feels the heaviest, but the pink one and the tan one feel the same. Wall Pilates in the context of like exaggerated body transformations. Pilates wall workouts, will they give you results faster than just regular mat Pilates workout? No. What a wall workout is going to do is give you different levels of incline for you to practice your Pilates exercises. Is it the fast track to results? No. I kind of like using a wall this way to bring awareness to the alignment in your upper body and in your hips. But using a wall in the way that I probably very unsafely demonstrated is not going to be a fast track to results. Probably if you're doing a plank up against a wall, it's going to lead to injury. It's going to make you do something that you're probably not prepared to do. I would say if you can't do a plank comfortably on the mat, why would you elevate the feet? If you are looking for a challenge in your Pilates practice, adding in different levels of incline can definitely challenge you, and there is definitely benefit to that. A really nice way to add incline is for something like a pelvic curl. If you have a chair or a box or a bench, adding incline this way can create more challenge for the hamstrings, and I think that's really nice. Would I do it up against a wall? No. Using the same incline in a plank is going to actually support you a little bit more in your plank and might make a plank feel a little bit more manageable. Would I do this up against a wall? Maybe with the hands up against a wall if you're working on getting your push-up. Using incline is a good way to help you to progress into your push-up because it brings the mat or the ground closer to you. This is the one scenario where I would say using a wall as a prop can be really helpful. So if you're working on a push-up, yeah, doing it on a wall can help you get there. Wall Pilates as a way to expedite results, no, it's just no. That stretched fusion bar thing. Or I'm sure you guys have seen ads for that, what's being advertised as a Pilates bar. If you haven't seen this ad on TikTok, then I don't know what side of TikTok you're on. It might not be Pilates TikTok, and that's okay. I see this ad all the time. It is like almost like a PVC pipe bar with resistance bands attached to it. I think if you're thinking about getting that as a way to get yourself into Pilates, great. If that's what gets you excited about doing Pilates, then sure, get it. But if you're looking at that Pilates bar and you're like, oh my gosh, this is the thing that's going to give me results, like, no, it's not. No one piece of equipment is going to be like the gateway to your results or your success in your Pilates routine. Actually, with the Pilates bar, a lot of the exercises that I see are things that you can do with medium weights or light weights at home. I also see a lot of deadlifting being done with the Pilates bar. And when I see stuff like that, the first thing that I think is they are showing exercises that are not Pilates exercises, but saying that they're Pilates exercises and saying this piece of equipment is a Pilates bar. Really often in those ads, you see people trying to replicate things like feet in straps with the Pilates bar, with the feet in the loops and holding the bar up overhead. I've also seen it being used to replicate things like side lying leg in strap. And those two exercises are things that you can definitely do down on the mat, even without resistance. And you can also replicate the reformer feeling by getting resistance bands. And any of you that have taken a reformer on the mat class with me know that there are a lot of different ways that you can replicate the reformer feeling from home without having to buy an unnecessary amount of extra equipment. I always like just the basic rubber resistance bands to create extra resistance with mat exercises and to replicate the resistance that you get from the reformer. I also really like sliders to replicate that reformer feeling from home. And I also have a lot of friends in the Pilates community that use foam rollers to replicate the reformer feeling from home. With the Pilates bar, I would say save your money, just get resistance bands and gliders instead. Cute outfits just to work out in. You'll have the same exact Pilates workout whether you're wearing something like this, and even like this. I think because the Pilates content that we see online is so curated and is made to be visually pleasing, it gives us this idea that we have to wear a certain outfit, that we have to show up in a matching set, that we have to wear Lululemon or Athleta or Vori. We have to wear these certain brand name outfits to be able to do Pilates. And when we see people doing Pilates only in matching sets, it can kind of make us feel like, oh, well, I don't have any activewear that looks like that, so I must not be able to do Pilates. And that just isn't the case. Doesn't matter if you're wearing a matching set or if you're wearing sweatpants, you're going to get the same out of your Pilates workout no matter what. And I know I used to see a lot of content saying like, oh, if you're not motivated to do your Pilates workout, put on a cute matching set. And I think that advice, while I know it's coming from a good place, I think it makes Pilates a little bit less accessible because many people can't afford to have a nice matching activewear set. A lot of people can only afford to have sweatpants. That advice is great for the people that have that kind of a lifestyle and can afford that kind of a lifestyle, but it's not applicable to everybody, and I think it can make people feel bad because of their circumstances. If matching sets make you feel good and they make you excited about your Pilates workouts, hey, lean into that. Wear a matching set, do what makes you feel good, do what makes you feel excited to get your Pilates workout in. And also remember, almost all the time when you see a content creator or a Pilates instructor in a matching set on the internet, more often than not, they were gifted that matching set or they got that matching set at a discount. Fitness instructors get discounts most of the time at these big athletic wear companies like Lululemon and Athleta and Vori. We get discounts because this is our profession. So keep that in mind when you're seeing content like that. The Pilates body, that it's gonna magically make you skinny. Pilates body or Pilates transforming your body in only 2 weeks, and that you'll end up looking a certain way with a regular Pilates practice. I first started doing Pilates in 2018, and when I went into the reformer studio for the first time, I felt so out of place. I didn't feel like I saw my body type represented. I felt like everyone else looked so fit and so in shape, and they all all had like the similar body type, and I felt like I didn't fit in. And I felt that same way when I became a Pilates instructor. I put a lot of pressure on myself to achieve this like ever elusive Pilates body. And to me, what I thought at that time, what I thought the Pilates body was what I think we see represented online. Online, you see a lot of Pilates instructors or people doing Pilates that look the same way. I think oftentimes many Pilates instructors come from a dance background. A lot of Pilates instructors are ex-dancers. They all have a similar build, and I think their genetics play into that as well. And that is most consistently the body type that you see represented in Pilates. I think that is a big reason why people are nervous to try Pilates. I think it's something that deters a lot of people from trying Pilates because they don't see their body type represented in the majority of Pilates content. That being said, there is not one type of body that Pilates is meant for. Pilates is good for everybody because it's meant to help you to strengthen your posture, strengthen your hips, improve mobility, flexibility, all of those things. And everyone, no matter your body type, can benefit from those things. Going off of that, if you start doing Pilates, you will not achieve one specific kind of body type. I think a lot of people start Pilates because they see Pilates content and the person that they see doing Pilates has what they would deem as their goal body. And they think if I start doing Pilates, I am going to look like them. And that is not true. I try in all of my content to make sure that you are aware of that if you're starting Pilates with me because you want to look like me, you're not going to get there, and that's okay because we all have different bodies. We all move through Pilates differently. We all move through our lives differently. You are not going to achieve one body type by doing Pilates. What you will do is strengthen your body within its means, within its range of motion. You're going to strengthen your body and be able to move throughout your life better. Pilates and weight loss is always a question that comes up. Will Pilates help you lose weight? Maybe. Have I had clients start doing Pilates that have lost weight? Yes. Does that happen for everybody? No. It really just depends. Pilates is not a weight loss system. That's not what it was designed for. If that's what you're looking for and that's the only thing you're looking for when you're starting Pilates, it's not gonna happen. Weight loss is so much more than just your physical activity. So if that is your one and only goal with Pilates, quite honestly, it might disappoint you in the results. Now, this is a question that I get asked very frequently as a Pilates instructor. Is Reformer Pilates better than mat Pilates, or will Reformer Pilates give me better or faster results than mat Pilates? Now, my answer is almost always the same. No, you're not going to get better results with one over the other. No, you will not get faster results with one over the other. One is not better than the other. It really just comes down to what you have access to. If you have access to a Reformer Pilates studio and you have the funds to be able to afford a Reformer Pilates membership, I think Reformer Pilates is great. The Reformer gives you additional resistance with the springs that can help you but also challenge you. And you are able to recreate a lot of that resistance down on the mat when you start using props like weights and resistance bands. But one is not better than the other. Mat Pilates will help you to establish a really strong foundation in Pilates, and everything that you learn on the mat, you can take to the Reformer, everything directly translates. Pilates Princess aesthetic, all of the apparel products associated with it. Now, when I think of the Pilates Princess aesthetic, or like the that girl aesthetic when it comes to Pilates, I think of like all white, everything, Reformer studios. I think of like only matching sets, or like only black on black sets, only Lululemon, or like Set Active, glass water bottles, super aesthetic, and everything is clean and decorated and curated. I think of that, and I can see why like people that create that type of content are drawn to Pilates, but Pilates is not connected to one type of aesthetic. Kind of like what we talked about before in terms of like outfits when it comes to Pilates. Like, you can come to Pilates looking however you want to look. You can come to Pilates with whatever kind of background you have. You can come to Pilates, you know, in any stage of your life. It's not just for one age group or one group of people. It's not just for moms. It's not just for old people. It's not just for dancers. It's not just for athletes. Like, it truly is for everybody, whether the content that you're seeing represents that or not. I think because I teach virtually, I see such a diverse group of people that make up my clientele that I truly see how Pilates can touch everybody's lives. And I fully understand that that's not completely represented in some Pilates content or represented by some Pilates creators. I don't want people to think that that stereotype is factual, because it's not. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, as always, please let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We are so close to 100,000 subscribers, so you can help me get there. Remember, you're awesome. You can do anything you put your mind to, and I will see you guys back here for our next video. I just can't resist you. You got me drunk in love, drunk